Is it justified? Is it lazy? Lazy?
Is it lazy? Let's be frank. Let's go.
Let's be frank. I think it's absolutely lazy filmmaking, lazy writing.
The remote is in my hand or very close by, because as soon as the scenes come up, I mute it because I can't stand the noise of the sex scenes and the idea of like my neighbors thinking and going, I wonder what she's watching.
I mean, could you argue? That's a great point, Derek. And I agree with you. I think in a war film, to elicit the true terror of war, because none of us have been at war, thankfully. But I think that is necessary to show those things.
Can we be frank? Can we be frank?
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Can We Be Frank, where the whiskey may be on ice, but the talk is always straight up. As always, I'm Derek, here with Robert, Ruby, and Mike, and we have a great show for you today. At least I think we do. We'll see. Anyway, how is everyone?
Hello.
Yeah, maybe great.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Robert's
so
chomping
keen
at the bit to tell me something.
Listen,
So
I have a commentary. Again, people are going to pick on you. I'm not. This is not picking on you. It's just something that it never. Say the title again of our show.
Can we be
do
frank?
The intro again. No. Do it the way you do it.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Can We Be Frank, where the whiskey may be on.
Can we be? You just say it's different than I think. Welcome everybody to. Say it again. Can we be?
Welcome everybody to Can We Be Frank?
Can we be? I don't know why I hear it before you say it. I'm hearing. Welcome everybody to Can We Be Frank? Can we be frank? You say
do I?
No, I think it's great. Again, I'm not picking on you. It's just.
It could be me trying to do my rating, because I think you said this to me before. Actually, there's an earlier one of our first episodes. You may have said the same thing to me, because I do it like I try to do like the radio voice subconsciously.
Yeah, it's not the voice.
Now I'm trying to do it, but it's the radio thing in me.
No, the radio voice is great. It's like the choice of where the inflection.
I watched. You ever seen Howard Stern's movie, Private Parts?
Yes.
It sounds worse than it is. Anyway, it's a story about it, kind of biographical movie. When he worked for NBC, the Paul Giamatti played a great character, and he was telling Howard how he's supposed to say the call sign for WNBC, and he's like, WNBC.
WNBC. You hear that kind of lift? The NBC.
WNBC. And it's a whole bit, and Paul Giamatti just delivers it spot on. He was great in that movie.
That's what it is.
Paul
I just always
Giamatti's great in everything. Yeah.
Expect to hear it differently. And every time I'm like, oh, it's like a different.
No. You gotta be more like this.
How would you say it, Robert?
You do it then if you're so clever.
Say it one more time, Derek.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Can We Be Frank, where the whiskey may be on.
Can we be?
I know what. Welcome everybody to
WNBC.
In my mind, I'm hearing. It sounds like I'm saying exactly what you're saying.
No.
We're having a Harry Potter moment.
Frank?
Robert's having his. You're just channeling your inner Hermione. He's like Leviosa.
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Leviosa. Yes, that's a great scene too. I like that one.
Can we be frank? Welcome everybody to Can We Be Frank?
Yeah, I thought
when you first. I think it's great.
When you first said it, I thought you were gonna. I thought you were gonna make fun of like my East Coast accent, because I never know that.
No, and you got a great voice.
But
every single time you do it, it surprises me. Is that
we
bad?
were in a.
I want comments. People in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, nice. But
everybody's wrong.
Everybody calls me out on this East Coast accent. I can't place it, but
I actually don't detect the accent.
At least every 4 out of 5, or not 4 out of 5, 4 out of 10 people, like in a meeting where I start like a new job, meet new people, they're like, "You're from the East Coast, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then some of them who are also East Coast transplants out here or elsewhere can usually, like people from Jersey, can nail it down and be like, "You're probably Pennsylvania," because they know it's not a New York accent, because that's it's the Soprano, New York, or not Sopranos, Joey from Friends, New York, and then there's Jersey, which would be more like the Sopranos, and then I don't really know of any other East Coast. Well, then there's Boston, but they don't count. So,
well, in Pennsylvania, there's the Philly accent versus the Pittsburgh
accent. That's true.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. See, I guess I know you've known you guys long enough. I don't think of you as having an accent necessarily.
If you want to check out the difference between the Pittsburgh and Philly accent, there's a great bit by Nick Kroll, comedian. It was on Comedy Central. He had a show called, I think it's called the Kroll Show, maybe, I don't know, something like that. But it's a sketch comedy show, and in the show he does a fake show called Pawn-Sylvania. It's about two pawn shop owners, one brother in Philadelphia, one brother in Pittsburgh, and he nails the accent on both, or whoever he gets to play the characters. Both of them nail the accents on both. It's very funny. You should check it out. If you want to hear the difference.
There's only one person here that I detect an accent.
Right. Well,
I won't single anybody out.
Is it the person that didn't realize they had an accent? It's funny hearing the first couple of episodes back, Mike. Every time I hear your voice without seeing your face, I think you sound so much like Matthew Broderick.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
Interesting.
So
Never heard
similar.
that before. Interesting.
Oh, wait a
I'll have
minute.
to listen.
Wait a minute. I'm going to close my eyes throughout the podcast.
Should I read
That's
some lines from
No,
Ferris
you need to do
Bueller's or
the
something?
I was going to say do
Right.
the coming out of the shower in the bathrobe. Life moves pretty fast if you don't do that line.
No, I'm not going to do that.
But you guys are from the same place as well, right? Same area.
Yes.
Your
But it
accents are
also
very,
kind
very
of depends on your, even though we're from the same area, where our families in Pennsylvania are from can have an impact as well. There's and how much your parents have a strong one, because I knew some kids I went to school with, their parents had a real strong, like Reading area accent.
we have a Reading near us.
But
as
it's
well.
like a real read up your room. That's instead of clean up your room, read up your room, and things like that. So
Like,
read up, that's the read up your room, clean your room is what it means.
Yep. It's a whole thing.
what's the origin of that? Read up.
That I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe I'll put it in
Read up.
the box.
Yes. Oh, I was going to say, I missed the
GPT.
boxes, Derek.
Yeah,
I missed
when
the boxes.
I'll try and find some spots to throw in
Because as you know,
spots.
I can't remember anything. So it was so great when you throw up a box. Like, what's his name? Who did what's that?
What's
name?
the box?
You know
thing?
that movie,
And you
and
put
then
the box. Derek would
talking
put up
about?
I'd be like, the movie where the guy directed it, who was the guy that was in this thing, and I never can remember names. Derek in his editing would put up the box.
Yes.
Robert was speaking.
what
of.
Robert means is, that's my favorite
Yes,
one. I always do.
translation.
What Robert meant was.
Mhm.
Anyway, so anybody else have any big life events, or are we hopping right into it?
Let's do it.
Mike, you're the keeper of the topics. If you want to introduce it.
Well, yeah, I think this week we're talking about. Robert put it great. Enough is enough. I think we're piggybacking on the last episode where we talked about gratuitous things in shows and movies, and what does that mean? What does that look like? Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Yeah, let's talk
Is it
about it.
justified?
Let's be frank.
Is it lazy?
Yeah. Is it lazy? Let's be frank. Let's go.
Let's be frank. I think it's absolutely lazy filmmaking, lazy writing.
For
Moving on.
now, to be clear, you're saying for gratuitous violence and nudity, right?
Correct.
What about profanity?
I would argue that's lazy writing. I mean, unless there's
Okay.
a character that's their character, that they're just profane. But I absolutely feel that way about comedy. Like stand-ups that it's just profanity laced. It's easy to get a laugh.
Well, that's true, but like
it's harder
a
to
character,
be clever.
but like a character like Stifler, if you're familiar with American Pie, he obviously is meant to be a vulgar character. So if he doesn't say vulgar things,
Yes, I
Right?
agree. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely, because that's one character. But in total, particularly I'm thinking if we're talking, gratuitous nudity or sex, violence. One, I don't think in horror particularly it makes things scarier. They're grosser.
Yeah.
But I don't know that they're scarier.
oh, I
And
agree.
I'll
I don't
put-
think they're
I'll,
scary.
I'll put
100%
up
agree.
some Hitchcock films against anything that's made today. You look at Obsession, we talked about that last week, that's now probably at $500 million at this point worldwide. for 750, but it had its moments, right, of both maybe a little bit gratuitous gore, but not really in the third act. I think once you get to that third act, all bets are off. But up until that point, it was really just built on suspense and character, and it was clever. It didn't take any easy ways out.
I feel like we need some
we
examples. Where's the it comes into the category of, let's break this down as well. I think there's such different genres. If we go horror or gore or whichever one of those, like what's an example where it's acceptable, where you're like, this is enough, this is tasteful, this was done thoughtfully, and then where's the example of like too much, lazy? Yeah,
I'll give you the primo example, which is the original Halloween.
Yep.
Probably because of budget and technology, it wasn't gory at all. It really wasn't, but it was so suspenseful. I still would argue it's the scariest Halloween of all. You know how many they've made at this point. How many have they made at this point? 15? I don't know.
God, yeah.
But because and you know, H2O had its moments, but I think Steve Miner paid homage to the original kind of John Carpenter style in the sense that he didn't go full gore, which we know, like Halloween 6, 5, they went a little crazy. You know, there's squishing people's skulls and their brains are splattering all over the place. It's gross. Another example, Ruby, would be something like what I call torture porn. I mean, I haven't coined the phrase, but it's the Hostel movies.
Oh,
it's just and the Rob Zombie Halloweens were just it's just gratuitous gore and violence for the sake of gratuitous gore and violence.
What about Hellraiser?
Oh, same thing with Hellraiser. Oh, please, I can't even. Don't get me started.
Okay, to be honest, not a big fan of those. So.
They're just not scary to me. Now, if you're talking about what's effectively to make the audience go, ooh, and hide their face because it's so gross, sure. But if you're talking just pure scares, and again, I think it's lazy. It's easier to get someone to react to something that's gross than it is to get someone genuinely frightened or feel suspense or it's something 100%. Like the first, what was that first movie in the series of, it spawned Annabelle and
The Conjuring?
That first Conjuring.
So good.
Stayed with me. And I don't think there was, that I remember, any gore
I don't
at all.
No.
I had trouble sleeping.
Those are great, like The Nun and those ones where the characters all of a sudden there. That does freak me out because that stays with you. And I'm not afraid to admit it or ashamed to admit it that at night, like I'm turning out the light, looking over, wondering if there's all of a sudden some object going to keep creeping slower, closer and closer.
That's exactly
what was that
why I
one
don't
with
watch
the
those
lights?
movies.
That freaked me.
Lights Out?
I guess it was where when he turned out the light and it kept getting closer and closer and closer.
Lights Out, which was a short,
so
and then they turned it into a feature. And that director, again, not lazy. Now, sometimes I think it's because out of necessity, you have to be creative because you don't have the budget or the means to do these things. So you have to rely on your creative prowess rather than just throwing gore at it. Now, I know there's body horror. Like, what was that one? The Substance, right? Where the story is kind of gross. You're not particularly my genre of horror, but at least it speaks to the story and the genre of horror. But I think in general, if we're just talking pure horror, scary, creative talent, Hereditary, I don't think, was particularly gory. I mean, there was decapitation, but for the most part, that film was just scary on the level of just moments and character and ambiance. And
I think, like recently, especially, there's this advent of, and I don't know when it came out, but like the slasher flick versus the horror flick. It's like there's two different genres now. Because you do cater to those people who do want to go and see all the guts and blood that they can possibly see, and then you want to cater to the horror audience. I think they're two separate genres at this point, almost.
At least,
but
that's a great point.
You can't market yourself as a horror movie and be Terrifier, for example, where it's just
Terrifier. That's a great example.
The entire movie is just gore galore. It's I think that is what is. It's a separate genre now. Horror needs to be, in my opinion, more of the build-up, more of the suspense, more of that, in your mind, I think that's what Halloween did so well, Robert. It's like, what happens off screen when the camera pans, and it's like, oh, it's left to your imagination, and you can picture whatever you want to picture that's happening off camera, because you know these characters so well, and because you've lived in that world for whatever period of time it's been. So,
I totally agree, Matthew. I mean, Mike, you do sound like Matthew Broderick. Now
He does, doesn't he? So much.
now I've got to listen to Matthew Broderick.
Just send yourself a voice note.
But I agree. And can you someone argue the counterpoint, Derek? Well, when we talk about nudity,
I'll give you some there with horror. I kind of agree with you. I have some questions for you when we get to it about violence in other types of genres outside of horror.
But don't you think? I mean, you think about the classic Psycho, right? Anything Hitchcock, Master of Suspense. You're in the title. And he could not show certain things just because of the times. But I would argue that takes much more skill and talent to elicit the same emotion of fear and horror than it is if you're okay being able to gut someone, or in Terrifier's case, cut someone from the privates on up with a chainsaw. How difficult is it to elicit a reaction with that, right? I mean, I know I'll get blowback.
Even just the description is eliciting a reaction. The idea that people, I feel like it puts ideas in people's heads as well. That's the bit that I'm not cool with horror films. It's like too much sometimes.
Yes, I agree.
Derek, you're a fan of, where do you stand on this? Yeah.
I'm not the biggest slasher film, so I agree with you on Halloween. I can't really make an argument there. For as far as violence in movies, I am a huge fan of like the 80s, 90s action flick, which most of them did involve some form of violence. I mean, obviously John McClane has to kill the terrorists. Otherwise it doesn't make any sense. But like none of them, but I have to agree with you there, like none of them were particular, like they're violent in the sense that he shoots a bunch of people, but other than some blood spatters, I mean, they didn't go overboard, so that's fine, that's realistic. What about war movies? Like, let's say the first 5 minutes of Saving Private Ryan, they show some guy's guts falling out. I think that's acceptable, especially in that movie, to kind of bring you into the world, that the violence that was that day, that time, that event, that shit really did happen. So I certainly don't mind it there.
And it serves the story. It serves the story. It serves the story.
Yeah. I mean, could you argue? That's a great point, Derek. And I agree with you. I think in a war film, to elicit the true terror of war, because none of us have been at war, thankfully. But I think that is necessary to show those things. You could argue, I'm going to argue against myself, well, to understand the terror of being, murdered by a serial killer, you have to see them actually gutting you. I think it's a different case. I think it's a case by case. But yeah, I love the Expendables. I love all those 80s films, the Terminator. But they're not gratuitous in a sense. I mean, there are people who, it's gun violence, which I get, but that's not.
It seems like we're okay with the violence. It's really the nudity that we disagree. And again, I want to put out this disclaimer. It's such an interesting topic.
Here we go.
I'm like, I'm not sitting there like perving out over it. I just don't mind it.
Hold on, before we jump into the nudity, I'm very excited about it, Derek. Well,
it is very exciting, but yes,
I get it. Hey, it's what it's there for. The violence, mate. I want to just be frank about like when if there's a fight scene and it's like physical, like one-on-one, or like someone being beaten up, that I draw the line. I can't stand the idea of, again, it's like I feel like it gives people ideas that you can I don't know, hit each other. Just the noises, it's always the sound effects that get me when people get beaten up and they're like punching someone till they're like in a pulp on the floor. That's my line. Blood and guts aside, I don't really watch horror movies for that exact reason. I will sleep with the lights on forever if I had the kind of things that you guys were talking about. But yeah, the violence, like human on human, blah, disgusting.
So
Can't stand it.
not a fan of Fight Club.
Actually, yeah, there's quite a few like football hooligan movies that I've watched as well where they take it to the point of like it's so gross, but it's so real, and a lot of it's based on some sort of true story. And I think that's the bit about the less like intense ones when it is like a war movie, like you say, or it is a actual factual thing that's happened and they've like created a story from it or a movie from it. That is more scary for me because it's like that did actually happen and people did genuinely hit each other with hammers and bats and all of that kind of stuff. So I feel like there's a this movie Legends with, can't think of his name, the guy that plays the two brothers. Oh my gosh. Okay, this might have to be a box
We'll have a pop-up
kind of thing. Yeah.
Right,
but
Derek,
that's one of the
thing.
things where it's that's violent, but again, doesn't take it too far. It's just like pulls on some of the stories. But yeah, sorry. Okay. We're done with violence.
The hooligan movie you're talking about, there was one I watched in college. It was I want to say it had
Green
the
Street.
color in it. Green Street,
yeah. It's actually
that was a big one that I saw in college, and it's really the only one I've seen in that type of genre. But
it's exactly the kind of what I'm thinking about.
it was an interesting movie. But okay, before we get off the violence, because I thought of something else in college. The movie
I just heard you say before we get off.
I got to be careful. Yes,
be careful, Derek. I was thinking Tarantino.
Okay, your Kill Bills and
Kill Bills, right? Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, yeah.
I mean, both violence and language, like we were talking about.
Both great
Pulp
movies.
Fiction was the most F words dropped in a movie for the longest time.
There you go.
It was overtaken by
now
Teen
I'm going to
America or
get
something.
us canceled. But this is just my opinion. I'm not a Tarantino guy. I'm not Tarantino. And he's Italian. I'm sorry. I tell you who I am a fan of that's Italian. I gotta balance. Stallone, Sly. Have you seen, sorry, there's a slight sidebar, little left turn here. Have you guys seen the trailer for I Play Rocky?
I just saw that today. I was just about to say
oh my God. You guys have to watch this.
Is this another movie in the Rocky series? Was this like
No, it's about the making of Rocky.
Oh, okay.
If you're not pumped, if you're not like ready to go out and run up a bunch of stairs in Philly at the end of this trailer, you're not human. Okay,
get the Philly accent.
No,
Philly
I'm
accent.
excited about that because I'm hoping they do as great a job with that as they did with that series with Miles Teller of the making of The Godfather, The Deal, or not The Deal.
That was good.
Deal. What the hell is
that
it
was
called?
good.
Whatever it's called. That was really good. I really enjoyed that. Yeah. Yes. So I hope they do very similar with that, and I enjoy the Rocky movie just as much.
I think so. We're being
The Offer. Sorry, I thought it was The Offer.
That's right. That was so good.
Yeah.
I feel like our examples are just a drop in the ocean of where people's lines are. So I am curious where everyone else feels like the horror slasher blood line is drawn. I would like to know whether we are being sensitive. People are like, give me more blood, or maybe you guys have got just an interest in a genre that not a lot of people do, and maybe their line isn't quite as strict. But yeah, it'd be good to know what people do think.
I agree, Ruby. I would love people to comment.
I
know there's people who are very,
tell us if you don't agree, right?
Oh yeah, be frank. Come on now.
Be frank. Tell us.
Disagree. Tell us. All right.
Now we get to talk about boobs and
the long-awaited section.
Yeah. Derek wants more.
Chomping at the bit.
Derek's been so excited.
Well, I don't know about that, but I had some things that I was processing after we thought about it, and because Robert was so staunchly against it, I wanted to ask him, so to counter your argument about being lazy, I could buy that argument and I would sit there. I'd debate you, but I would accept the argument for an original TV show that was made. But if you're adapting a book, for example, what the hell is that called? Gray. Oh shit! Now I can never remember.
50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of Grey.
Shades of Grey.
So now you're adapting a book. You can't
Well, A, why
adapt
are you
that
adapting the book? B, why?
because
B,
dozens and dozens of soccer moms were reading it in their coolers while their kids were having
Yes.
practice. That's why they read
I
it.
still would argue. No, I didn't see the film.
They
I'm
make
not
3 of them
demo.
films. Just
I didn't see the films, but I still would argue that you can do them in a way that you don't have to. I think it's lazy just to lay it all that out there.
I think the books are written in a way that it is a build up. I feel like the film. I think I've seen the first. I think I've seen the first one. I don't have anything to comment because I can't remember the film. But the books, the whole thing that people liked about it was the build up of it, and I feel like the films must have hit that without it being too crude. Derek, what's your take?
Okay.
How many times have you watched them?
Yeah. Do they show them all? Yeah, Derek.
Well, to be
They're
honest,
on loop.
I didn't really watch.
He's like,
those,
all
those
3
movies.
actually,
It's
and
just
they're all
the
really
biggest
good.
example that I could think of our time here.
But that's the question: is how graphic were they?
Have you guys seen the latest season of Euphoria?
No,
No,
I
but
haven't
that's
seen
another
any
one
season of
where
it.
Oh.
where people rave
But
about
that's
the
where-
show, but
There's a
Yes,
whole.
and my daughter said, "Dad, do not."
It's just
So I haven't.
unnecessary. Sydney Sweeney is having a moment. Her boobs are having a moment. Fair play. I heard she's a MAGA fan. Not a fan of it for that. So I can be frank and say she's like, they make her like a giant human, like an old B movie, and she's just walking around with her tits out, and it's not. It doesn't add anything to the episode.
Right.
It's not. It's so unnecessary. But I'm sure a lot of people watched it and rewind it and watched it again, and fine. But
And
those,
freeze frame it and
yeah, like
Yes.
just get over
buy
it.
bigger TV sets because of
100%.
it.
Half the world has boobs.
But that's lazy.
Yeah, it is, but it is
You
also,
don't
I
need
think,
it.
for people to be, I don't know, surprised by it, for it to be a conversation starter. Those are the kind of things where it's just like unnecessary. I'll tell you another one, and I'm not shitting on work at all here. This is not intentional, but Game of Thrones, which I was a late watcher for, and it is one of the shows we rewatch it every year or so. We'll like go back and start from episode
So
one.
good.
Just started rewatching it. And it's one of the shows
That first season.
the remote is in my hand or very close by, because as soon as the scenes come up, whether it's the incest scenes or someone in a whorehouse, I mute it because I can't stand the noise of the sex scenes and the idea of like my neighbors thinking and going, I wonder what she's watching. So I have to mute it. Those are my things. Like the scenes themselves can be as like sometimes they're actually not showing anything, but the noises that they put across it, immediate mute. Can't watch it, have to wait for the scene to turn off. I panic if I don't have the remote and you hear people like making sex noises. It is just my worst nightmare watching content. Just my neighbors thinking,
That's a great
what's she
example.
watching? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
That show works on a level. It doesn't need the excessive, gratuitous nudity, and the actress who's so good who played Khaleesi,
Oh yeah, she's amazing.
right? Eventually was like, I'm not doing it anymore. She should never had to have done it. You don't need it. It doesn't add anything. It's just pure debauchery. No, it's pure. It's just pandering to a certain demo. Which at least if you admit that, okay, but don't argue that it's necessary. It is not necessary.
Well, I would
There's a
never.
style
Photo
there as well,
attraction. I mean, you go on. What was the one? The famous one in the day. You guys, I don't even think we're born yet. But the one with I'm gonna need bubbles. I'm gonna need bubbles, Derek. The one with the one who crossed her legs. Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct. Yep. Sharon Stone. Yep.
That was such a big deal at the time because she uncrossed her legs and you thought you saw something, you know. But it was all very. That was considered edgy. Now by today's standards, it's G-rated. They just keep pushing the boundary.
But like
It's okay, Derek. You can
I don't
be
really know
open.
because
You can
like
be
I
honest.
wouldn't. I can't disagree with your argument that is it necessary? Because for example, and I'm going to go back to my current favorite show in the world off campus. Current favorite guilty pleasure. If you removed all the nudity from that show, I wouldn't like it any less.
But it would
Did I
only
say
be
that
like
right?
2 minutes long, so you wouldn't enjoy it as much. It would be
No,
no
there's
story.
not really that much in it, but it's I would not have I wouldn't have thought anything of it. Now, I've read excerpts from the book. The book is much spicier. So if you're trying to make it the same provocative feeling that the book was. You definitely need the sex scenes, because otherwise you're not really adapting the book. You're taking a huge element of the story, which is these are college kids. They're coming into their sexual, is that your prime? My God, I hope not. But the beginning of their prime, perhaps. There's still hope for us 40-year-olds. But they're coming into it. It's going to be a part of I mean, not everybody's, but I think a vast majority of college students, that's what they're doing. They're hooking up on Friday, Saturday nights. So I think it would be doing a disservice to not have the scenes, because now you're hiding, you're trying to cover it up like it doesn't happen. That's what college kids do. It's like if you just showed them playing Scrabble all night, well, people be like, well, that's bullshit. That's not what happens.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's two separate arguments, right?
Okay,
So,
fair
I mean,
enough.
if you made a film about prostitution or a prostitute, obviously there's going to be prostitution happening. But the creative angles is it's just, you just do it straightforward. You're just going to show the sex. You're not going to be creative at all in the way you present it to the audience. You're just going to show it at face value. It's lazy to me. I just don't think it's a documentary at that point, right? There's no art to it. It's just showing you what it is. There's no kind of creative approach. And to me, and I will never veer from this, it's lazy. It's just lazy. It's either lazy in the writing, which, like you said, if it's an adaptation and you're talking about specific, the college student, the prostitute, whatever, and that's part of the story, it's sure. Then it's not, because that's a character or characters. But in the filmmaking of it, can you not just think about how you approach this in a way that gets the point across, but we don't have to see every, dangling participle and everything else?
Well, that's true. I don't think for a show like that, you certainly don't need to do full frontal. And I don't know how to say this without coming off like a creeper. I promise you I'm really not. But okay, so and I'm sure this had to do with the actress, and I totally respect it. I think it's awesome that I'm sure she stood her ground and said what she was going to do, what she wasn't going to do.
You don't know that. You don't know that. She probably she might have volunteered.
Makes him feel better.
No, because she didn't. Because I was saying they actually didn't show any nudity. So that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
No. But okay, but here's where it's not a creep. I didn't need her to, but I got it. Again, I'm not saying it needs to happen, but I'm explaining to you what takes me out of the scene.
You got a what, Derek? What did you
Derek.
No.
Yeah.
So hold on. So in her scenes,
yes.
There was a scene where they're engaging.
I think you might want an attorney, Derek.
I can't
They're
wait.
engaging in adult recreational activities there horizontally. And the shot is not gratuitous by any means, but
ARA, adult yes.
And I'm not saying this doesn't happen, but she had her top on, which is fine, not a problem. It's just
Not your favorite scene.
No, but I'm sitting. It's the same way in action movies where the gun has 40 bullets and it never runs out of ammo. It didn't take me out of the scene, but there was a moment where I sat there and went, "Don't people normally have sex naked?" It just seemed odd that.
I feel like that's exactly the sort of thing a college kid would say and think until they go through that thing. No, the answer is. I guess up until a point in time, whatever was, and actually kind of to Robert's point, whatever was a typical sex scene would have been what everyone is led to think, right? But then actually, no, it was, I'm sure, the answer. But if it didn't make it as engaging, I think that's more the argument that you're making, Derek, and that's fair. You wanted to see
it didn't make
it
it engaging. It made me stop and think and go, well, that's odd. That just feels out of place. I don't need to see it.
I think they'll do it any which way. Top on, top off, bottom on, bottom. There's lots of ways they do it. But to your point, I'm not saying that they couldn't show her without any clothes and not have to see every bit of her.
Oh, I don't disagree.
There's creative ways to, with camera placement. I don't need to see.
Well, actually, speaking of great camera placement, they're actually, and I have this is an anecdote from Twilight, another guilty pleasure of mine. In the fifth movie, however many movies, the last movie, they're both.
Don't act like you don't know. How many movies were there, Derek?
It's like in the 72nd minute of the fourth
No,
movie.
well, not quite, but they do
Frame
have
number.
Edward and Bella engage in a sex scene. They did film that very well because it's a PG-13 movie, so they obviously couldn't show it.
Okay.
But they did exactly what you said, Robert. They conveyed it in a way that we all got the point, but they didn't actually have to show anything. And as a matter of fact, I heard, now this is a rumor, I can't substantiate this, but in post, though, because of the PG-13 thing, they actually had to paint out Robert Pattinson's butt a little bit because it was showing a little too much crack. So they actually had to go in and paint out his butt in the one shot, which, special effects.
And who's going to argue that less crack is bad?
I'm not going to, that's
there,
well,
right? Or you think, I'm thinking now. I'm dating myself, and I don't know that I ever saw this film, but it was because I was too young to see it. But Body Heat.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of this film with Pop It Up. I can see their faces. What's her name? Boy, she was considered big. Oh my God. Anyways, Body Heat. Shoot, Pop It Up, Pop It Up, Derek. But that was considered like a really steamy movie, and I would venture to wager that if we were to watch that today, it would be nothing.
Oh, Kathleen Turner is that?
But thank you. Yes. And what's the guy's name? He was great.
William Hurt.
He was in
Mickey Rooney.
Yes.
Okay.
No, Mickey Rooney. Oh my, yes.
Oh, Ted Danson was in that movie too. There we go.
But anyways, that was considered a steamy film. But anyways,
I feel like there's a bit that all of this misses, which is the Twilight example is a really good one, Derek, because if they're looking for an audience that is of a certain age or appropriate for a certain age, there is certifications and regulatory bodies that set what is acceptable and not. And then it's probably why when there isn't a certain criteria, if there is an adult audience or whatever it is in whatever genre, people go wild and go nuts because there isn't as much of a limitation. That's what we're talking about, right? Do people want to make something that is shocking, or do they want to make something where people are going to watch it? Teenage girls and Derek alike.
Yeah, you can loop me in there. I swear that's where my guilty pleasure lies.
There's an innocence there. It's lovely.
But
yeah.
Can we think of an example? I don't know, Mike. Can you think of an example like a film that was like ultra either violent or gratuitous that would not be as good without it?
Gosh, yeah.
Where do you stand, Mike? I'm curious now. How do you feel? We know how you feel about the horror, but as far as this gratuity.
Yeah, I mean, I always go to the story, right? Like and part of it is like, how would I feel in that moment? How would I feel as that character, whoever, whatever point of view is happening. I think I stand where I stand with horror, where it's like we can make it up in our head and we can have that scene in our minds and do whatever we need to do with it. It doesn't need to necessarily be shown, especially all of it doesn't need to be shown on camera.
And I almost feel like it's more effective across the board with horror, with sensual films. It's almost more effective when you use your imagination is better than anything they could show for the most part. In both ways, right? Like you're saying, Ruby, just the sound effects alone, right? Conjure these images in your head. You're like, no thanks. Either way, but you're envisioning something that terrifies you or that you find sexy that you don't have to see. I mean, it's why lingerie is $1 billion industry, right? Versus just nudist camps. There's a certain point where hiding the ball has some value.
Yeah,
versus just laying it all out there.
Literally.
Yeah, it's like if you go out into the real world and you meet a couple that that you interact with at a bar or at a restaurant or whatever, you're not then picturing them going off and having sex. You're obviously you hope that they're in a happy and healthy and good relationship, but I think the same thing can come through on camera for the people that you are getting to know just the same way as what I just described, that can happen there as well. But I do go back to the story and the beats that need to happen within a contained period of time and what drives that story forward. That's how I think that's where I stand.
I agree. Like even just there are a million films have done it, but like the steamy car, the car's steamed
Yeah.
up and the hand on
The
glass.
Titanic
Like,
scene. And
Titanic, yeah, it does it
oh,
well.
is that what it was? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's
the
like,
hand.
we get it. Yes, you get it.
Yeah.
no, but she also
works.
did show her boobs in that movie when he was drawing. her.
PG-13
What's your
too, I
opinion on
remember.
that?
That was tastefully done.
It was
It
tastefully
was.
done. Did you need to see them? Not necessarily, right? You can see him drawing them. You don't necessarily need to see them, but whatever.
Have you guys seen Anora?
No, but I was going to mention that when he mentioned prostitute movies, right?
Yeah.
Because it's
I saw it and I forgot about it.
Won an
Because
Oscar
that's funny,
for
my-
Best Picture, Best Actress. That is definitely an example where the story is about the fact that she's a sex worker. And
Yes.
but it's done very well, I guess, maybe on the line for some people, but you know the premise of the movie before you watch it. So anyone that is shocked by it, like, fall on them. But that's a good example of where, to your point, Mike, it adds to the story. It's all part of the premise of the film. I feel like that one's an example of where they got it probably just right.
Mm-hmm.
And Derek, you
that's
should
a
watch
great
it.
example.
You should.
Yeah, you
watch
should
it.
watch it, Derek. It was good. I just forgot. I don't remember. I watched it. I got a screener through the Writers Guild, and I watched it, and I liked it. I don't remember it.
Maybe
what
there's not
happens,
enough
I guess.
scenes that you needed to remember.
Maybe
That's what it is.
See, maybe that's an
Yeah.
argument
They
against.
did it tastefully, and then you
being,
forgot about it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, whatever.
Don't recommend that one to your friends. Yeah.
Yes.
because I think you could do it without some of the nudity. For example, if the Off Campus is an Amazon Prime show, they have a lot of liberty. It's a streaming service. If they were to show that on regular TV and excluded the nudity parts, I would totally not have a problem with that. That's totally fine. I think you could get away with it. You could cut what little bit they did actually show. It would not take away from anything. It would be totally fine. And then I would watch that show with my mother. I would not watch the unedited version with her, unless we could skip those scenes. But I would be totally fine. But I will stand up and say that I just hate when they take out the swear words. Like, if you try and watch fucking Die Hard, I'm sorry, and I had to throw in the swear word for it. If you try and watch Die Hard on TV, it's ridiculous. Now, it can also, if you're in the mood to laugh, the dubbing is friggin' hilarious.
I was going to say, what do they say for Yippee-Ki-Yay?
Mr. Falcon. Well, either Mr. Falcon or that's my favorite one. In the second one, because it's a plane movie.
Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon.
Nearly pissed myself laughing. It's the funniest thing in the world. But
it's a really good point, though, Derek. With if something's being made for streaming, those regulations are a lot more lax. But there's also then America and UK, probably more so than other countries, where you get used to seeing certain things as like watershed on linear and pre and post things that like after a certain time, it's acceptable to have certain audio or certain scenes that you wouldn't have during the like daytime for family or whatever. But then everywhere in the world that's going to be slightly different, and those regulations are really strict in some places, not strict in others. Like we have to take that into account. There's some countries where you can't show certain animals on TV. Like
that's true.
There's loads of things that are just, this is whatever is acceptable to us in the society and what you guys are used to. But it is very, very different across the world. I do want to make sure that throwing that one in. Talking of films and things not to watch with your family, I think I mentioned this in a past episode, but Saltburn, I was told not to. I'm pretty sure I didn't watch it with my family. I can't remember when I did watch it, but I remember seeing the scene that someone had like framed me up for and just being disgusted by it, which again is probably exactly why they did it, because it was gross. But yeah, that's definitely another example.
Yeah, I just feel like, anyways. I mean, if the assignment is to gross someone out or to be gratuitous, that's a fairly easy assignment to pass. It just is. I mean, you can't make a counter argument to that.
No.
I don't know how you do.
Well, see, that's where I agree with you, but like if like these books and stuff, like whenever, like I read the Twilight books and people are like, oh my God, it's so easy to read. It's rudimentary. I was like, yeah, that's the friggin' point. Like it's not Huckleberry Finn. It's not, Charles Dickens, it's not a work of what is literature. I mean, I don't want to offend Stephanie Meyer, but like, yes, it is, but it's not meant to be a classic where you're like, my God, the language, the prose, everything is beautiful. It's meant to just be a mind for the reader. Just lose yourself, be able to read it, absorb it as easily as you can. You're not overthinking it. You're just, as long as they can pull you into the world to make you escape your world for various reasons, whether you had a shitty day or just because, then they've done their job. But, I can't imagine it's going to win any type of classic awards in the future. Although in 50 years, 100 years, who do you think, this is a great question. Right now, we look back and we say, oh, all these great authors, and whatnot. In 100 years, what work of literature are people going to sit there and go, wow, that was a classic? Like right now, what would be, if you guys are, maybe you're not big readers, I'm not really either, but like what would, and it could be film too, what are people going to look back on and go, that's the Gone with the Wind of our era?
Is it Off Campus?
Well, I would hope so, but that remains to be seen.
Another point. I'm sorry, this is a little slightly skewed to
that's fine.
Your question, so forgive me. But as far as like what was so well done and did not was Jaws.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Jaws was so well done. And Spielberg says because the freaking shark didn't work, like the mechanical shark was like a bust. So he had to get creative and do other things. And of course, John Williams, the genius that he is, brought the score to it, which built that apprehension. But like something like that, people literally, my friend Steve said he literally would not go in the water for years. My mother, who saw Psycho as a teenager, never again took a shower. She would only take baths.
Oh, wow.
Since she was like 16 when she saw Psycho.
Gee.
So the day she died, God rest her soul.
Oh my gosh.
Never took a shower. So that's impactful. Now, I don't know that you'd have the same effect if you saw the shark and it was, all that now they do with Sharknado and everything else.
Well,
that's
exactly in 100 years. That's going to be encapsulated.
Yeah, Sharknado is going to be the classic.
Yeah.
But I would say I'm not a huge reader, and I haven't read all these, but the one I've constantly heard and like people are huge fans of are the Harry Potter series. So I'm assuming that would be something that would be
that's
in 100 years people would right.
100%.
That's a legacy, right? That's a true like.
That's the one that
people come back to.
I read the first one and loved it. I'm just not. I fall asleep
while reading.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, okay. I could wake up and start reading and I fall asleep. It's just like I don't know if I have narcolepsy. I don't know.
It must be tough for the job that you do. Do not have to read back everything you write.
Well, I write, Ruby. I don't fall asleep writing. It's the reading part. Yeah, I just it's good enough. I know it's weird. It's very strange.
Yeah, it's funny. It's a good point on the music as well. I can watch a scary film and my tolerance is a lot higher if I can mute the scary scenes.
If you mute it, that's my secret.
A lot of the audio is the
I get scared.
part.
It's all the sound.
It really is.
You're absolutely right. The score. Well, who is it? Jordan Peele says the difference between comedy and horror is the score.
And that's
a quote
backed up by a lot of YouTube videos where people will take a comedy and recut it to look like a horror movie. And they put in a little bit of lighting change, they did some post lighting effects and different music and picked the right scenes, you can really convincingly make a comedy. Like I think I saw it for like The Office. They turned it into
and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire
I've seen
was
a few
great
times.
one where they turned Mrs. Doubtfire into a horror movie trailer, and it was so well done because they changed a little bit of lighting. I think picked the right scenes, and then the music and some
the sound effects too. Yeah, exactly. Like the door opening when she first appears in Mrs. Doubtfire. It's like,
A creep.
Yeah.
yes.
They slow it down.
Made
a
all the
little bit.
difference.
Very clever.
And I'd imagine the opposite would hold true. I think Obsession you could take and cut it in a certain way with certain music and a laugh track where
And
would
make it
be
a comedy.
humorous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this is one I'm really curious about people weighing in.
This is a great one because I think
I want those
everybody has
comments.
their own opinion on this, and you know, if you're not, some people's perhaps religion and other morals play into this decision, but if that's not it, I just think it comes down to your personal preference as to what you tolerate and what you don't tolerate.
Yes, and I'm putting all that aside because you're right. Morals and religion, all that aside, just for me, pure art form and creative, like if you consider filmmaking art,
It is.
I just think
for sure.
maybe it's not the most artistic way to go. But argue that it's my opinion. I'm just being frank here.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
That's the title
Can
of
we
the show,
be
right?
frank?
That's it.
But Robert, can
That's
you
it.
be
If I
frank?
can't be frank here. Where if I can't, can I be?
Yeah.
Can we be? Can we be? How do you say it again?
Can we be frank?
Can we be frank? Can
Say
we
it
be
again.
frank? Can we be frank?
No, say it. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, welcome to Can We Be Frank, where the whiskey maybe
Can we be?
Can we be?
Okay,
Can we be?
I see.
Can we be?
Can we be?
It's can we be?
Can we be?
We be.
Can we be?
WNBC.
Can we be? I don't know.
Leviosa.
Leviosa.
All right. Well, like Ruby said, we want to hear from you. Please leave your comments in the comment area. If you don't have a comment, at least give us a like. All right. Well, it was good talking to you guys. We'll see you next time.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Love you, bye.
Bye.
Can we be frank?